Today I fucked up by not looking closer at my license plate. So I moved to a new state a year ago. I dragged my feet getting it registered, and when I finally got around to it, the Rona happened. It was an extremely lengthy process getting my car registered too, because I have a cosigner on my car. I was getting it registered into a new state, and the employees at the RMV were not doing their job well at all. The process literally took me 5 months. I think it was the 6th time I got denied that I looked into the eyes of an RMV employee and told them that I was going to commit a war crime. When my 7th attempt at getting registered was successful, I was handed a sheet of paper for my registration, which is different from NY where you have a special yellow card, and I was handed one plate. The lady was having a shitty attitude and really bumming me out because I was ecstatic about finally getting this done and I was only given one plate. She took the plate out of the wax paper to put a sticker on it, put back in the paper, then handed it to me. So I assumed she knew she was only handing me one plate and thought that the second one would just show up in the mail in a week or two. I've also seen people driving around with only plate on their car. I was excited to put this thing on my car, so I put it on the back and didn't really think much of it. My co-workers and family gave me a lot of shit, joking about how I probably dropped it. I'm gonna get pulled over because of it. I put both of them on. I should go back to the RMV and hold everyone hostage until I get my second plate, etc. I dragged my feet at getting my car inspected too, so I finally got it done today. The guy inspecting it comes over and sits across from me. So when did you get your car registered? A few months ago. You know you only have one plate on? Yeah, I know, the RMV only gave me one. No, you have two. You put both of them on. They were stuck together. It happens all the time and it's always hilarious. Too long didn't read. My license plates were stuck together and I give a car mechanic a good laugh. When I saw the title, I figured this would be a start or something like that. Good story though. Ha ha ha. Damn, that must have been embarrassing. I had a good laugh too. Thanks for that. Have an upvote. Glad I've always lived in states with only the rear plate, but I empathize with the Rona process. I moved states, paid to have my bank paperwork overnighted, only to have my state DMV offices shut down the very day my paperwork was logged from out of state. Had to wait 2 months to get my permanent plate, and go through 2 temporary plate cycles, and a ton of toll account mishaps due to forgetting to change my transponder info each time, even though I was told in the beginning state does not issue more than one temp plate. They do now, thanks to COVID. As a car enthusiast, I love buying in a rear plate only state. Granted, if my state did require it, I'd probably just risk the ticket. Bahaha. Least you're all set to go. Always such a warm fuzzy feeling when a today I fucked up is a true story. This one gave me a good chuckle and I thank Op for the story. Today I fucked up by helping a random kid pee in the park, making him cry and looking like a complete pedo. So this morning, way to start your Saturday, I went out cycling and stopped by the park for a short break. There weren't many people around except for an older man sitting on a bench with his dog and this young boy who could have been 7 to 12 years old standing alone awkwardly on my left holding a football. The kid had the classic cross-legged movement going on and couldn't stop moving. I asked him how bad he needed the bathroom from 1 to 10 and then where his parents were. He said 20 and that his mum had just left to find the bin. Kid didn't know where the bathroom was and neither did I just moved here, so we were in a pickle and it didn't look like he could hold it much longer, so I told him to just pee behind a tree if he was desperate. Just to be clear, I don't pee in public nor do I encourage it, but desperate times call for desperate measures. The kid looked horrified just by the suggestion, so I told him to just wait for his mum and grabbed my helmet to leave. Kid literally starts bending his knees rapidly, so being my idiotic self who can't mind his own business, I said I'd show him that it wasn't that big of a deal by doing it myself and went behind a tree to piss. The kid followed after I was done and for God knows why, dropped his pants down all the way to his ankles to pee. I was like, WTF are you doing? Pull your pants up, and I guess I might have scared or startled the kid because he quickly bent down and forgot to turn off the tap. Pee all over his pants and underwear. Some even splashes on my leg and boots. Bloody mess, and I suddenly remember why I don't want kids. Mentally Totally frozen and acting by just instincts, I grabbed his arm to try straighten him, because he just kept going, and the kid starts falling apart. As if she were called by name, I hear someone scream, "What the fuck are you doing to my son?" The mother, understandably, goes insane, rushing to her son while screaming for help and drawing a fuck ton of attention to us. And there I was, stuttering and stammering through my incoherent explanation to the people calling me a pedo. Luckily the older man stood up and came to my defense to explain what happened. I think everyone believed him, but I still got nasty looks and have decided to never visit that park again to avoid the shame. There, I hope you're happy, JTL. Doctor saw a kid in the park who needed the bathroom, so I suggested he pees behind a tree. He drops his pants to the floor and starts peeing. Aggressively I tell him to pull up his pants and he ends up peeing all over them. Kid cracks and his mum comes to find a stranger man standing behind her son, whose pants are down. Big scene, called a pedo, but a witness came forward and cleared everything up, though I don't think I can ever go back. Kids are fucking stupid. Op is fucking stupid. Holy shit, what a scene. An embarrassing scene at that. Holy fuck, this could have been so much worse. In situations like this, parents don't think and could just lash out. Okay, probably not the best moves, but why is the parent leaving the child alone to find a bin? I mean, it's not pedo, but I would never go near a kid with his pants down. At that point, I'm calling the Department of Wildlife to report a wild child pissing in the bush. Yeah, if a wild pantless child appears, don't try to catch it. Today I fucked up by thinking I was a hot babe magnet. Okay, this happened some time ago, but I need to open up about my little incident. Before uni, I wanted to go traveling, and the easiest way to make a bit of cash was construction. Since I was saving, I wore the same jeans and shirt to work daily, washing them only on weekends, and they were starting to get a bit torn and tattered. One hot summer's day, the boss man says we can all go home early. Happy days. I jump on an almost empty hot tube carriage, London Underground, with no air conditioning, sit, do my manspreading and start reading the Times newspaper that I had picked up. Almost directly opposite me are two very good-looking women about 25, slightly older than me and dressed in smart office attire, banking types, I reckon. After a quick glance at them, I carry on reading my paper. Out the corner of my eye I notice them glancing in my direction, with a little hint of a smile. Immediately my overconfident Neanderthal male brain tells me that it knows that they are into me. Yup, me, the young, slim, handsome guy with long blonde hair. Sure, I am all dusty and tattered clothes, but they can see me reading an upmarket newspaper, so they know I am intelligent, and they just like a bit of my rough and tough construction worker image. I keep glancing between my paper and them, and as their smiles get bigger and they start whispering to each other behind their hands while glancing in my direction, I start to think of pickup lines and which one I should go for, as they are both pretty hot. Then I notice one of them glance at my crotch. This blew my mind. Hot damn, these women want me bad. Sexy times it is. So I give them a little cocky smile, not too much, but I wanted them to know I was interested. In preparation to starting a conversation, I fold my newspaper away. When they both look at my crotch, which seemed a bit blatant, and a part of my mind far away from the caveman side, which was now going into overdrive, said that's a bit unusual. So I casually glance down to see if I am bulging in my man spread position when I notice the object of their attention. My jeans had now completely torn across the crotch, along with my underpants, and my hairy, hot and sweaty, bright red nutsack, which had slipped out whole, was casually swinging like a pendulum catching some fresh air. I watched my shiny red balls swing side to side with the rocking of the carriage, perfectly silhouetted against my blue jeans. In shock, I felt like I stared at every curly hair on them for ages, incidentally wondering why my dick was still inside. The burning red embarrassment hit my face and ears milliseconds later as these two women finally let loose the laughter they had been trying so hard to hold in the past 10 minutes. I jumped off my seat, stumbled the 3 steps to the tube door, praying the next stop would be there as I gently tucked my nuts back in, finally jumping out 3 stops before my own as these two women collapsed in an absolute fit of laughter. Sliding off their seats, unable to control control themselves any longer as I ran out the station and walked home dying again and again of embarrassment. Too long didn't read. I thought these two hot women were smiling and flirting with me, but they were just laughing at my swinging nutsack which had fallen out of a hole in my jeans. I laughed so fucking hard at this. Good, I can laugh now but not at the time. I wanted to disappear from the face of the earth and the tube took forever to reach the next station. They are generally 2 minutes apart. Was this written by a woman or adult of a man? Lots of some extremely sensitive skin, to temperature especially. If they were suddenly swinging outside your pants, you'd know in an instant. You sure as hell wouldn't be walking around with your balls hanging out and have no idea. This all assuming that you enjoy going commando, because there's no way your underwear would rip and you wouldn't know that either. The tear is not very wide, the nut keeps tucked in, and stretched. That reduces blood flow, and in very specific zones, the skin can get temperature numb. You just don't passively notice it, even more so if it's hot and humid in the train. Source, been there, done that. Or, nuts. Hang in there man. Perfect pickup line for that would be a simple, hey, wanna hang out? Holy fuck up, my condolences. But thank you for the laugh. My ex's balls fell out of a hole in his boxers while we were eating dinner in the sofa, and that image is something I pull up in my mind to cheer me up from time to time. But you experienced it all in public. Or rip.